So I got to San Francisco in around the year 2000, and I was coming off of a pretty bad crystal meth addiction in Los Angeles. The floor fell out. I was an aspiring screenwriter, and I ended up smack dab in the belly of the beast downtown there. And I was introduced to IV drug use like within the first week I got here, and I started shooting meth all day, every day for 3 years straight. And it shot me into a world of psychosis and trauma that I never imagined was even possible. You know, I say it in the teaser, I was that guy walking down the street talking to himself, you know, to people that nobody else could see. And I almost died out there in the streets, you know. And I realized when I got back on my feet that I was one of the fortunate ones. You know, there's a lot of people that just never make it. I came back 10 years later and there were still people living in the Tenderloin on the streets that I knew when I was out there homeless. Literally just walking in circles, you know. But some special things also happened for me during that time on the streets. I came to meet a lot of really beautiful people who were out there, disabled, veterans, children, addicts. And, you know, having pursued a career in Hollywood for 10 years, you know, the whole lifestyle of that industry, you know, I realized that there was something more important to live for, you know, after that experience being on the streets. And I started my first nonprofit, Harmonic Humanity, in the first year that I was kind of getting my life back together. You know, one of the things that made me fortunate to be able to make it was that I had a very good friend who was living in Northern California, who was steeped in the transformational education world, the human potential movement. And he started, you know, reaching out to me once I got back on my feet and plugging me into this world of, you know, how to break through limiting belief structures, how to reframe things, how to work within one's mind in ways that they weren't teaching me in the shelters. They weren't teaching me in the detox centers. They weren't teaching me anywhere. And I came to understand that this education is extremely valuable, but it's being marketed and sold to people with a lot of money, for the most part. Marginalized communities, as we all know, are very poor, and so we suffer when it comes to getting quality personal growth, content, and attention. And so for a long time, I wanted to sort of bottle up, you know, this education that I was blessed to be a part of over the next 10 years of my life while I moved through trauma and I moved through psychosis and healing from the things that I was, you know, had been involved with. And, you know, the first nonprofit was an effort to do that. And now this project is another effort to do that, to sort of bring this education together and then put it into a documentary film and share it with people who are still there suffering on the front lines. The film is going to have an extension to it. We're developing an online course and an online community as well as the film. So the film will be interviews with other people who have changed their lives, and it'll be interviews with people in the transformational and human potential movement, talking about what it takes to change. And the course will be free for anyone that can't afford it, and include several modules and teachings and sort of double down on the wisdom that's in the film to help people feel a part of a community and get some of this information that's not being readily made available out there in the shelters and the treatment centers and programs, even like Salvation Army and Goodwill. You know, I want people to see people on the streets as being gold, you know. I want people to understand that they are precious and valuable. They are our future teachers and nonprofit founders and family members. And I think that what happens in our society is that, once your life becomes devastated to a certain degree, you sort of lose this sticker on your head that says return on investment. And our society isn't really organized to value you. And I think that needs to change, because my personal belief is that there's wisdom out there in the streets. And when we start to value people more and acknowledge that they have that wisdom and help bring them back into the fold, our society is going to start to realize, I believe, that they are our greatest natural resource. Human beings out there who are devastated in life. So that's my plug. And thanks for watching the trailer. And we're looking to talk to anyone that might be able to help out with interviews. We just raised $250,000 for the documentary, and we're looking for more funds to finish it. And I'm going to be here all month shooting interviews, and then on to Seattle and Portland, and then off to the East Coast, and just looking for help with the film and plugging in with people, as well as anyone that can help develop the course. So thanks.
AJ, thank you very much. That's awesome.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing story. We're very grateful for your presence and your courage.
And we're going to invite you back, too.
Yes. And so this was just a teaser. So AJ just got to the Bay Area last night and made a huge effort to come and join us today. We wanted to introduce him to this community early in his stay here in San Francisco. And then we're going to try to bring him back again at the end of the month, where he can share a little bit more of your story. But please, if you have any contacts or resources, make contact with AJ. Yes, Ellen has a question. Can you bring a mic to Ellen? And in the meantime, I was going to say it would be great if you want to join us on Thursday for our street outreach walk in the Tenderloin. We would love to have you. So we'll contact with Anne-Marie, and I think it'll be a great opportunity for you. Yes, Ellen.
Yes, I want to thank you for your courage for sharing your story. And I'm really moved by your story, because we have a homeless outreach team right here, a team of 10 people here today. And we were doing the outreach with the people like you before. And for one thing, from your heart, that you're telling the truth about that, we are human beings. And that's important for people to know. God made everyone a talented person. Some reason we got derailed, but now we need people to recover. We need people to help. Homeless need a home and a job. That's the basic foundation. I'm not sure that if you see the news, within the last 7 days, $300 million been missing in the nonprofit in San Francisco, claiming helping homeless.
Thank you. Yes, we have one more question, and then we'll move on to our speaker of the week.
I was just curious about what it was that got you, accepting treatment and looking to turn your life. Because you mentioned that after you got back on your feet, you made progress with your friend or whatever. But yeah, just when you're in the throes of addiction and you're living that lifestyle, what was it that kind of made you believe that you wanted something different, and gave you that mindset shift to make the progress away from it?
3 years later, and I was skinny and being blown around the streets by those San Francisco winds, and I just had a moment where I was like, done, and that started it off. But fear of insanity, going permanently insane and dying.
So it wasn't necessarily some relationship or some organizational outreach or whatever that accomplished it. It was more that you reached your breaking point, and
I reached my breaking point.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
But yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, AJ. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.